Hey everybody, Kurt the Chimney Sweep from Midtown Chimney Sweeps. Today I want to talk to everybody about starting a fire in your fireplace and how to do it without getting smoke in your house. One of the most common calls we get every year is, Kurt, you were your guy, you were just here, you swept the fireplace, you swept the chimney, you installed something for us, and we go to use it for the first time and we're getting smoke. Smoke's coming out. So we go out and we check it for them, we want to do our due diligence, and we find out it's not blocked, there's nothing wrong. So, why are they getting smoke? What's going on? We have a lot of answers for that and we want to show you. That's what we're going to do today here at the fireplace. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is pressure. It's a little bit advanced, but I'm going to break it down for you. It's really simple. You have negative pressure inside your house and high pressure outside the house. What that means is the air pressure inside is lower than high pressure outside, and high pressure wants to go to low pressure. So it's forcing its way into the house. And the easiest way to do that, if all the windows and doors are closed, which they are in the winter, it's going to come right down the chimney. So you get air flowing out, pushing smoke out when you start your fire. The easiest way to alleviate that is to open a window. You want to open a window nearest your fireplace. In this case, it's this window right here. And that'll allow us to bring the air in, get right into the fireplace, and feed the fire, and not be traveling all the way across the house. Before you get started, make sure to have the fireplace swept and inspected annually before you use your fireplace for the season. Very important. Now, once we're ready to go, we have a few things we're going to want to have to get our fire started. Something to start the fire with. I use the Duraflame Fire Start bricks. And then something to light that with. You could use matches or a lighter. I'm showing you long handle. Make sure you get long handle matches or the long neck lighter. Don't go in there with a little bic or something like that and burn your hand, okay? Long handle. Fireplace gloves are always good to have. As the fire gets raging and going on later, you're definitely going to want to use these. Protect yourself. And I have a moisture meter. We'll talk about this in a minute. To check your firewood, make sure you have good, clean, dry firewood, which I have right here, and some kindling. In order to have a fire, we need three things. We need fuel, which we have our firewood. We need air, which is in the room, and we open the window to let the air come in. And we need heat. Now, heat is probably the one that's most misunderstood. Think of it this way. You can't light a live tree on fire with a match, but we know trees do burn. We have forest fires. And the reason that match won't get it started is because the tree is absorbing that heat energy, just snuffing it right out. The tree never got hot enough to actually catch on fire. So to start the fire, what we're going to do is take our fire starter brick, and we're going to light it. All you got to do is light the paper with your lighter, put it in the fireplace, and just let that burn. That'll get that fire starter going. And what that's going to do is heat the flue up. Now, some people take paper torch. You might have heard of this. You take newspaper, roll it up into a torch, light it on fire, and shove your hand up in the flue. I don't tell my customers to hold fire in their hand. Another reason not to use paper is when paper burns, it kind of peels away from itself and flutters up in the heat. If you have creosote inside your chimney, that paper, as it floats up, can ignite the creosote and start a chimney fire, which is what chimney fires are. It's the creosote buildup inside that's caught on fire. And we'll talk about creosote a little bit more. Another thing not to use is liquid. Don't use kerosene, gasoline, lighter fluid. There are some professional products out there called fire starter gel. You can stick with those. And something else you don't want to put in your fireplace is, believe it or not, your Christmas tree. Yes, this is a true story. I was at a class for chimney sweeps and they were telling the story about how this customer took his whole Christmas tree, not pieces, laid it down and was going to feed it into the fireplace. As it burned, he would just push more of it in and keep feeding it into his fireplace. Well, you can imagine what happens next. The whole thing lights up instantly and sets the living room on fire and sets the house on fire. I know it's kind of dumb, but don't even cut pieces. Don't do things like that. These are not incinerators. They're fireplaces. So don't burn pieces of your Christmas tree. Don't burn cardboard boxes, paper, wrapping paper. Most chimney fires happen the week of Christmas. So we'll let this warm up, get our flue warm. We'll come back and put some kindling on it. Okay, so now that the fire starter is going real good, next thing we're going to do is add kindling. And kindling is nothing more than small sticks or smallest pieces. We call that kindling. So we want to start small and go big. This is the key to having a fire without smoke. Is don't go too big too fast. So I have some dry kindling here. And where did I get this? Well, I just picked it up in my yard. So if you have that, you can go do that. If not, I'll show you what else you can do. So let me start adding some kindling first. I have various sizes of kindling. And we're going to talk about sizing with the logs too. Small pieces, bigger pieces. This piece I don't want to put in yet, so maybe it's a little bit too big. This one I put on the side, it's a little bit too big. Let these catch. I see a little bit of smoke, not bad. If you put your sticks on too fast, you start to smolder instead of catching on fire, and that's what makes smoke. We want to avoid the smoke. So right now we've got good, nice, tall red flames. Even though it's small, it's going and we're not getting smoke spilling out. As long as you have tall red flames, you're not going to have smoke. So I can see my sticks, my kindling are burning real good. And they're going to go quick because they're small, so I want to keep it fed. They're starting to fall and move and they're kind of crackling. So I'm going to keep it going. I'm going to go to my next size that I didn't want to do before, but now I'm ready. It didn't take long. I'm going to build my fire, crisscrossing these. This one's ready to go. Nice dry firewood that cracked real easy. And as we do this, this will build the fire. These bigger pieces burn, the fire gets bigger. This one I want to talk about. I picked this up out of my yard. You can't feel it in the video, obviously, but it's very heavy. That means there's too much water in this. I'm not going to put this on. This was laying in the grass. You can tell this side right here has mud and dirt on it. If they're really heavy and dirty and wet, don't use them. So right now our fire is dying down a little bit because we put a lot of sticks on it. So we're going to let it build up. And you can see the smoke it's making, but our smoke is going up the flue, which we can see. If you look at the bricks, you'll see the smoke in front of them. And we're not spilling out into the house. It's going up the flue because our flue is nice and warm. And now the fire is building back up. We're getting tall flames, and we'll be ready to add the next piece of wood. So our sticks are burning real good. I'm going to add a few more, and I'm going to start putting my firewood on. So I'm just going to keep these big like this. Just keep them crisscrossing, build the fire bigger. That'll help support the next piece. See, the thing is, you got to have that heat I talked about before, right? Can't light a tree with a match. You can't light a big log with just a small flame. Same idea. Now, I mentioned before, I picked up sticks in my yard. What if you don't have a yard? What if you're a city dweller or something like that? Well, when you look at your firewood, sometimes you get these little splinters, I call them, like this. Look at this piece. You just peel that right off and use that first. Nice and small. I'm going to lay this on top, keep it going. Kind of go through your pile. Look at this, perfect. And break this off. Nice piece. Help build the fire. This is real good dry firewood. This piece I can split even more. So now I have in-between sizes, between the size of the stick and this. You want this. Just keep building it up piece by piece. Look at our flames are getting taller and taller now. I'll lay this in there. You want to keep a lot of air between them. I don't stack them tight on top of each other. We kind of crisscross them. Fuel, air, and heat. So this allows the air to get in between all the wood and make those flames stretch really nice and tall. Now look how they're going up on us. This is going real nice and good. So now we're ready for our next pieces. We got a nice fire going. Look how tall those flames are. Before it burns out, you want to take your next size, smallest piece. We got a lot of this excess here I can peel off. This one's pretty stubborn. So look at your firewood and get the smallest piece you have. Either one of these will do. This one's short. So I'll start to put this on. Already time to use the gloves maybe. You want that fire underneath to be hot enough to set this piece on fire. This is great too because all the air will get inside of all this stuff. We'll put that right there. All this little splinters are catching on fire for us. All right, so I want to do maybe one more piece going across these two here, my smallest piece. I'll lay this in like this, making sure I got plenty of air in between them. And I'll let those pieces catch, make sure they catch. I can see some smoke, not too much, and it's all going up. So we got a nice good fire going. We got nice tall red flames. Tall red flames mean no smoke, which is great. We don't have smoke spilling out of the fireplace, which is what we wanted to cover. But another thing that I wanted to talk about with smoke is smoke makes creosote. Now creosote, maybe you heard of it, maybe you didn't. Creosote is the byproduct of burning a solid fuel like wood. When wood burns, creosote's released. It's basically tar. Tar is released out of the wood into the smoke, and as it goes up the chimney and cools off, it turns back into droplets of tar, and it sticks inside your chimney, inside your flue. And it's very flammable and will catch on fire and start a chimney fire under the right conditions. Which is why I don't like paper flying up inside the chimney. Remember I mentioned paper will flutter up while it's on fire and can set the creosote on fire? So creosote comes from burning wood. Keep a good hot fire, less smoke, less creosote. It'll be very easy for me to clean when I come back at the end of the year and clean your chimney for you. Well, we got a good hot fire going. We got nice tall red flames. We got big pieces of firewood burning. We didn't get smoke coming out of the fireplace. This maybe took us 30 minutes to get started. You can take 30 to 60 minutes to get a good fire going, so be patient with it. Another great tool to have when making your fire is a moisture meter. Maybe it sounds expensive or fancy, it's not. It's real easy to use. It has these 4 pins and a power button and a hold button. That's it. And then all you gotta do is stab it into the wood. I have a piece of firewood right here. Just put those pins in there. I hit the hold button, which holds my number. Now I can read it. And this wood is about 30% moist. The ideal moisture content in firewood should be 20% or less. So this piece isn't ready to be burned. I hope you got a lot out of this video. This is Kurt from Midtown Chimney Sweeps. Hope you enjoy your fireplace.